Hey folks, it's been a long time since I put a video out, and part of the reason is the focus of our channel has changed. Not entirely, but we're no longer raising quail and we're not raising chickens, at least not at this moment. But what hasn't changed is the focus on gardening. But where the chickens were raised, I've turned that area into a small shop. And I'm hoping some of you on this channel would appreciate how a shop comes in handy on an old homestead. Let me show you some of the stuff that I've built since I started the shop, and then I'm going to take you out to the shed and show you what's in there. Okay, one of my first projects, which of course for a lot of small shops, this is the first project, but this was a little more involved. This is a double set of cutting boards made out of a 2-foot by 2-foot section that I glued up and then cut it out. It's walnut, mahogany, and cherry. And it came out pretty neat. I think I'm going to do it a little different next time. But you can see I've screwed the top, the holder part in there, and the individual cutting boards just hang in their respective slots. So that was pretty neat. The next project I did, there's only a couple projects, but my wife has been bugging me to put this 5-inch extension here. We didn't caulk it, we just painted it. Remember, we're just out in the country. It's red oak, which is what the cabinets were made of. It's a filler. And yes, you can see the gap on the side is not even because the stove needs to be leveled, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, I made that. I made the cutting board. I've done some other smaller projects, and I'll show you those when I get out in the shed. And then I'll give you an idea of what's coming up. Hopefully this is something you guys will like. It's been a while since anybody's seen anything out here. I've made some changes, and I'll go over those in another video. Got some fruit trees planted. The orchard is doing well. But what I want to show you today, this morning anyway, is this is where the chickens were. That's been taken down. That's going to become a strawberry patch, I think. But let's go ahead and take a look at the new shop. Something I'm very proud of. And as I get in here, let me get some lights on and cut this heater off temporarily. And then I'll show you all the different parts of it. So when you came in the front door now, on the left hand side I've got a drill press, I've got a new table saw, and a lot of my new equipment is from Harbor Freight, or some people call it Hobo Freight. I'm really happy with this table saw, and of course I built the stand that it rolls on. This thing is really nice, and I made the stand, of course, so the table saw would fit right under there. I bought a small belt sander, which I need a bigger one. I need a better belt sander, but this has worked, and I've made some swords with it for my grandchildren. Got a grinder, got a bandsaw. I've had a bandsaw in the past, and I've just never gotten the hang of it. I'm really hoping that this time I'm going to do it. Over on this side, just some wood storage in the corner. Then I've got a big work table. I have my old scroll saw, which I've used occasionally. And then some space and storage for wood, spare wood. I got a nice board to hang templates on. And then I put a shelf up here for some more of my power tools. Now what I've switched over to, or slowly switching over to, is battery operated tools. In this section, I've got my table saw, which is Harbor Freight, Hercules. Really happy with this, and it's had some great reviews. And I built this, whatever you would call it, a guide here, and cut a hole in the side wall so I can run longer boards through it. I've got some things hanging on the wall, storage, put a small pegboard section up, my levels, some sanding stuff. I got a big router, and I'll show you a small one here in a minute. And then I started buying a bunch of clamps, which I needed. Another big working unit, working table area. that goes around here. This is about a 10 by 10 section. I can't get it all in the video, but that back there is a 10 by 10. I used to raise the quail in here. This front portion is an 8 by 12. So it's not a bad size shop, though it's broken up. I just had to make it work with what I had. I put this board up here in the corner. I got a good deal on a bunch of 5-inch sanding discs on Amazon, so like $8, I got all of those. And I just put them up and then labeled the different grits so I would know what they were. Then I saw this online, didn't get a template, just looked at it and built it. And so I've got battery chargers up here. This is another one of my new tools, brushless Hercules, again from Harbor Freight. Really like it. Battery operated. Again, I'm trying to get as much as I can with that. I've got my battery operated 5-inch disc now. Bought another drill, which works well. And I got this free buying something. I can't remember what it was. But this is a small router. I've used it once, not a lot yet. And then I built the small section here just to hold some of the bits and some of the parts. I need to add to that. Stapler added here. Got a vise down here. Shop vac, I haven't connected a system, but I use it to clean up everything after I'm done. And then my newest baby, something I really like, let me get this thing out of the way, is my rigid 12-inch or 13-inch planer. I've used it a few times, and I really like that. I've never had a planer before, and that's just a gem. This thing I'm moving around here is just a worktop that I put on my, let me show you here. A lot of portable stuff in here, and of course, on the router, I built the table with the wheels, and I push it out back on this deck. I'm not going to open it right now. It's a little chilly. So the shreds just blow out in the yard, so I don't have to worry about cleaning it up. But anyway, this little table used to be my work table, portable, when I was doing home improvements. And it's just another station. I set it on these sawhorses, and it allows me to have an extra space, primarily for painting and staining. And one other project I've got left in here that I'm gonna, one of my grandsons is gonna make, is this little table. It's hard to see against the plywood, but it's made out of poplar. Home Depot had some 2-foot poplar strips on sale for $1.50 each. So what I'll do with this is it's edge glued up, screwed together, screwed and glued on the bottom. I added some legs to it, and then the screws for the hardware. I'll take the hardware off. And my grandson, I've got some different ages, but this one's about 8. So what we'll do is I'll let him stain it. I'll wipe it off. I'll take the handles off and let him put the handles back on, and probably the feet on the bottom. That way he can feel that he's been a major part of it. Just up here, some screws. I've got another one of my quail lights, or garden lights rather, hooked up there. Just add some more light. I've really gotten into it. It's about all I'm going to add to this workshop right now. I've got more tools than I can possibly use, but I'm really excited about it, and just thought maybe some of you folks out there might be interested. If you are, I'll start doing some videos of the projects I'm making. I'm getting ready to do a bluebird house and a couple of planters. I watch a guy named Matt Peach, and he has a great shop. So if you like this, just comment in the comments below that, hey, you're interested in watching some of the videos about things I make, and I'll be glad to take videos of it. And until that time, check you guys later.